Well, hello everyone. My name is Vasily Sabirov. I'm lead analyst at devtodev.com. We are from Vilnius, from Lithuania. We're neighbors, and we develop the analytical platform for games. And today, yes, we will speak about games. I'm very glad to be here. And my speech is called "Where's the Money, Lebowski?" So, well, the situation is the following. You have launched your game, you have launched your product. It's pretty successful, everything is going well, but are you sure that it's enough for you? Where is the guarantee that your investors will not find you and will not cut your budget? There is no guarantee, yes, and it's always important to know how to find the problem in the game, how to find the points of growth in the game, and today we'll speak about it. Today we'll speak about analytics of games. And first of all, I'd like to tell that analytics is like the remedy, it's the medicine for the project, because the process is similar. First of all, you take some measurement, and the doctor always takes some measurement, such as, for example, temperature, pulse, and everything, If the data is enough for doctor, then doctor will make a decision, will give you some pills. If the data is not enough, then you'll have to make some additional, measure some additional KPIs, and only after that to go to point one, and it's the iterative process. It's similar for analytics. The analytics works also like that. You measure some points in the game, you make some decision how to develop it, then you measure it again, and that's how you can grow your game. And today I'd like to offer you an algorithm how to make a diagnosis to your game, how to find the problem in your game from the very beginning to like the very deep insights. The first level is like very, very simple. It's the major KPI. I mean, such as KPIs that everybody knows. Everything about revenue or growth, or everything about your audience. And if you speak about audience, it means or daily active users, or like the users online, the metric which is very specific for the games, or maybe the size of the incoming flow, I mean the new users. But it's not enough for you, of course, to understand the game deeper. It's not enough for the doctor to understand what happened with you if the doctor has only like your height and weight. Yes, it's not enough, and you will need additional changes. This is the situation that may appear. You see that the red line is the revenue. The red line is the revenue, and it grows slightly, and the blue line is new users. It grows significantly, but after that there are some like breakpoints. Something happened inside the game, and the game started falling down. And if you use only the major metrics, it's not enough for you to understand what happened. You need to go to the next level. The next level, it's next set of metrics. I mean the metrics of quality, the metrics of project quality, which describe how good your game is. And what is more important, level metrics of quality or metrics of quantity? Well, of course, quality, because if your metrics of quality, if your qualitative metrics works well, it means that your game works like a system, and the only thing you need to do is like to give some traffic to the game. And if the system works well, then the new users will convert to the active users will convert to the money, and everything. So here's the metric you should be concentrated at. It's the metrics of the quality of the game. The most important metric, I think, for the quality is retention. Retention is the share of users which remain active after some time. Day 1, 7, 28, like a pretty common metrics. Also, there is one interesting metric, rolling retention. Lifetime is very important, because lifetime describes the average time of life of your users in the game. And the sticky factor is also interesting metric. Please raise your hand if you know what is sticky factor. Two hands.
I think that if the one player starting to play and then he shares the game with the other player, and
Yeah.
the second one is starting to play, and he not the spreading factor.
You're right, because the matrix that you describe, it's also called factor, but you describe K factor. It's the sticky factor. It calculates as daily active users divided by monthly active users. If your game is very successful and you have like 1,000 users who plays every day, the whole month, then your average daily active users is 1,000, and your average monthly active users is also 1,000. You divide daily active users to monthly, and you get 100%. It's the maximum value of sticky factor. The minimum value is vice versa. For example, you have the users prefer not to return to your game, and like 10 users play today, 10 users play tomorrow. So the average daily active users is 10, the monthly active users is 300. You divide, and you get 3%. It's the minimum value for sticky factor. The average sticky factor for like good game, for financially successful games, are about 20%. And our researchers show that sticky factor is one of the key indicators of users' loyalty, and sticky factor has very strong correlation with paying share, with the share of paying users from the audience. Yeah, by the way, about monetization. Some interesting metrics about monetization. ARPU, average revenue per user, it calculates like total revenue divided by your total audience. ARPPU is average revenue from your paying users, paying conversion, and LTV. LTV shows how much money the average user brings you for the whole lifetime. These are the metrics of quality, and it is important for you to know how they are connected with each other. It's important for you to understand which levers, which jacks do you have to change another metrics, for example, to change the revenue. Let's have the user case. Well, your revenue is falling, and you need to answer why. What are you going to do? Nobody knows what to do when the revenue is falling. I think you're happy people.
Find the house.
Yeah, you need to find the cause. And here is like the map of metrics. I recommend you to take a picture of it. It's how the metrics are connected with each other. It's like the very simple metric map, but anyway, you can work with it. Your revenue is your quality, I mean your audience, multiplied by your quantity multiplied by your quality. Your audience multiplied by your ARPU. So the first thing you need to do is to understand the falling is caused by audience or by ARPU. For example, it's caused by ARPU and your audience is stable. If it's about ARPU, there could be also two reasons for ARPU to decrease. Either decreased the average revenue from paying user, or decrease the share of paying users from the whole audience. It can be vice versa. For example, your ARPU is stable, and it means that the reason is in the audience. If your audience is falling, there could be only two reasons. The first reason is the lack of new users, and the second reason is the problem with the retention. I mean the retention of older users. So this is the metrics map, and it can allow you to work with the metrics to better understand what happened inside. It was the level 2. The level 3. You always have some weak points, some bottlenecks inside your game. And the best tool to understand it, to find the bottlenecks, is the funnels. And the funnels should work well, and they will work well only if you have the good structure of your events. Of the events, I mean that you send to the analytical system. Here is some recommendation how to build the structure of the events. First of all, you need to mark some key users action. Usually it's payments, maybe share button, maybe even churn. Yeah. The next stage, you need to find the neighborhood. what do users do before the payment? For example, before the payment, users usually go to shop, then open the good in the shop, press buy, and then press confirm. And here is the funnel. You can build the funnel for the 4 steps and find the bottlenecks, find where the conversion between steps became lower. What's also very important for game especially is the tutorial. We strongly recommend you to analyze your tutorial in details, because your tutorial, it should be clear, it should be understandable. If it's clear, then it goes to the good tutorial conversion. It goes to the good retention metrics, and good retention metrics goes to the good money metrics. That's it. And usually the changes in tutorial are much cheaper than any other changes, than, for example, changes in a core loop in the game. So that's why I recommend you to pay more attention to tutorial. And here is the user case. In devtodev, you have a report called tutorial steps. It's the funnel, which can be 120 steps long. With this funnel, you can find some bottlenecks, some places where your conversion decreases significantly. And that's how you can find these places. You can fix it, and you can increase your any other metrics. And there was a user case. One of our clients, they had a tutorial for about 5 minutes long, and they integrated about 100 steps. And they integrated even the invisible steps. So the steps which are invisible to the user, I mean, where when some textures or levels are uploaded or something. And they found out that the highest churn, the highest conversion decreases were on the invisible steps. So the players usually not have many time to wait. They want everything in now, yes? And that was an indicator for them that they should make their tutorial technically easier. And yes, they made it technically easier, and it increased their retention metrics. The next level is the structure of your game. Of course, every game is unique, but anyway, there are some common things that you can meet from one game to another. I mean the levels, I mean locations in the game, some loops, and so on. And you need to measure on the levels, on the locations, such things as conversions, I mean conversion from level to level, the complexity, like for example, the rate of successful and unsuccessful attempts to pass the level, churn revenue, and any additional parameters. And here are some examples of reports that can be useful for you when you analyze your game. Here is the report for user levels. Users go from level to level, and devtodev allows you to see the distribution of your users by level, distribution of your money, of pain share, and so on. Another report is about locations in the game. You can measure everything. You can measure here any digital parameter about the location. I mean the stars, the health, number of steps, number of bullets, everything. And you can calculate it. You can calculate it to one successful attempt, to one unsuccessful attempt, and so on. So that's how you can find the bottlenecks, some problematic places inside your game. The next case study is the players got stuck on level 7. Why? What are you going to do? How will you answer this question? Sorry? Maybe. Yeah. Well, first of all, you need to calculate the complexity. Maybe it's really too complex level, too sophisticated for them. If it's not, and that was the case that one of our clients met, then you need to dig deeper. We found one interesting situation in one of our clients' game. The players really got stuck on level 7, and they prefer not to go to the level 8. And we found out that the level 7 was like the last level of the first part of the game. So the players on the level 7 were like the highest skilled players from the newbies, from those users who cannot play. And the level 8 was like the first level of the professional part of the game. So of course, players prefer to stay on the level 7 because they were like kings there. And on the level 8, they were newbies, and everybody killed them. So it is a problem. It is a problem in the game balance and the matchmaking system. And that's how analytics can find it. Level 5 is maybe the most interesting level. It's the game economy. Of course, the players go from level to level, but also they buy something. They visit the shops. They spend their currency. They accumulate the currency on the account. And everything should be analyzed. And in devtodev, you can do it. For example, here's the report from devtodev, where you can see the structure of in-app purchases of users by level. You see the level, you see the category of in-app purchases, and you can see the statistics of purchases here. Another report is the structure of your money from the user segments, and the user segments is built for days from install date. How much money came from newbies, how much money came from older users, and so on. It's also interesting when you make some changes in the game and how these changes change the behavior of different user segments. So yes, the next case study is how to increase payments on the levels like 20 to 25. First of all, you need to understand, do they have enough virtual currency to make some purchases? If they have enough, then you need to explore the statistics of purchases. What do they prefer to buy on this level? And after that, when you find it, you can make some targeted offers for them. You can match what do they want to buy. You can match what do they already bought and offer them something which can be interesting for them. And the conversion for them to pay will be higher. So here's like the first part of algorithm from from the major KPI to the game economy. But it's not enough. There is also one additional dimension. It's called segmentation, because it's much more interesting to analyze your users, not for as a whole set, but for some specific segments. And today I'd like to share some interesting types of segmentations with you. First of all, by paying activity, I mean paying and non-paying users, and by frequency, I mean frequent sessions or rare sessions. If you can multiply these two types of segmentation, you can build 4 segments from frequent session paying users and to rare session non-paying users. And you can see that the distribution of your users by these categories. This is the map which will allow you to make your marketing decisions more efficient. You will better understand what you need to be concentrated at on the conversion or on the sessions and so on. Another type of analysis, type of segmentation, is the RFM analysis. It's only for paying users, and you segment them for recency, frequency, and monetary of their payments. And after that, you create some sub-segments of paying users to better understand the behavior. Here's the example. You see, in this game, the players usually make only one payment or pay frequently. There is nearly nothing between them. So the key problem here is that users need to be converted to the second payment, then to the third one, and so on. So you need to be concentrated at the conversion to the second payment, because you know that most of the money comes from users who pay frequently. This is how RFM analysis works. I'm sure you know the Richard-Bartle classification. It's very popular. And I also recommend, when you develop some MMO, I recommend you to try to find your target audience with these types. But it's also more important to better understand how do they communicate with each other. It will also allow you to make some interesting decisions about your game. There should be more and more interesting types of segmentations by country, by language, by traffic channels, by events. For example, you can compare the users who killed the boss with those who have not killed the boss. And maybe to kill the boss is like the important point in the game, and you can find it with the segmentation. So yeah, here is an algorithm. Here is how it should work. First you start with your major KPI, then you go to the metrics of quality, then explore your finals with the structure of events. Then explore the game structure and the game economy, and don't forget about segmentation. Because if you analyze your users not as a whole set, but for segments, you can create more hypotheses. You can create more ideas how to make your game better. And yeah, this is the path to the developers and to the users' happiness. And I hope that my speech was interesting for you. And now a couple of words about devtodev. We are the analytical platform for games, and we can help the game developers on any stage, from the traffic analysis to the deep analysis of game economy. And we sell the analytical platform, and also we sell the analytical consulting. You can always ask us to help you. We are available for any popular platform, and we can even also get data from your server directly. So it's not a problem for us to get the data, and we will show you the most interesting reports. We will provide you with some analytical insights. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for your retention.
Vasily, thank you very much. It was really interesting. We have time for questions. This man knows something which we should know about. Anyone, any questions in the audience? Here.
Okay, thank you. As far as I noticed, there have been one hypothesis on making better decisions based on the data that are gathered within the game. But is it valid if, let's say, the change in the revenue depends on the contextual changes? Let's say there has been the general income level of the target audience that has decreased, or there has been some competitive product that has been launched and led to the revenue decrease. Would it be possible to identify these external factors due to the data that was gathered within the game?
It is possible, of course. Like, it's possible to find that there is something happened, like some external factors. And after that, like, the deeper researchers will help you. There is some mathematical algorithm, mathematical methods which can allow you to divide the internal and external factors. Yes, and but to answer which one of the external factors has changed your revenue, it's much more sophisticated question, of course. It will require some time, some deeper market analysis, and so on. But anyway, it is possible. For example, if you're talking about seasonality like this, yeah, if you know that your players usually prefer to go to in the summer to the grandmothers, and if you know that your revenue usually decreases in July, then you shall expect that the revenue will decrease in July again, and it's the external factors, and you know it based on your experience. Like this. Of course, it's like a very simple question, but anyway, it's the example.
Vasily, what about retention? What are the minimum numbers that people should be looking for?
Well, there is the magic formula, you know, 40% on the first day, 20% on the day 7, and 10% to the end of the first month. It's like the magic formula for financially successful games. So yeah, if you're talking about first day retention, it's about 40% for mobile games. But anyway, there are a lot of benchmarks in the web. You can find it easily. And we in devtodev also can provide you with some interesting benchmarks if you need.
And how many games, how many mobile games do you think actually hit those retention numbers? What percentage?
I think not more than 10%. Yeah.
Any more questions? Vasily, thanks very much.
Thank you.